You're listening to BYU-Idaho Radio. I'm Nathan Lenahan, and today I'm joined by Carson Bush. He's the creator of the Tonk arcade game and CEO of Bushworks Entertainment, LLC. Carson, thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure to be here.
So before we get into your arcade game and project and stuff that you've been working on, I'd just like to get a bit of background information on yourself, just so the listeners can know more about you.
Sure. I'm Carson Bush. I'm recent BYU-Idaho alumni. I graduated in electrical engineering. And I love games. Not very good at them, but I do love making them. Found a passion for that recently.
Better at making them than you are at playing them, I guess.
That is how it goes. It's kind of funny.
And so could you tell us, what is this Tonk game?
So Tonk game is a arcade machine that I built here in Rexburg, and it is a game that I'm trying to use to connect other people and create what I've heard people deem what they call a third place. And you know, I have this affinity for technology, and I was like, how can I use this to connect other people? And arcade machines seemed like a fantastic solution to that.
Yeah, that's a really interesting way to do it, because arcade games, those aren't something you really see popping up anymore. There's definitely a novelty to it. And so was there anything beyond just trying to create that connection that inspired you to make this game?
Absolutely. So this game really helped me hone my skills and proved that I can build something by myself and with people. And you can just do things. You know, you can just go out and do things. Like, I got connected with some local businesses here in Rexburg, and that's part of what inspired it. I had a buddy who was like, arcade machines have mostly fallen out of popularity, and
Right.
there's a couple reasons for that. One of those is, well, the fact that we have home consoles.
Yeah.
You can just go play. You can play games wherever you want. But there's some other factors like taxes and energy costs. And so where I'm trying to approach that angle is actually in the energy costs. I provide low power social arcade machines. That's the whole idea behind it. Is it makes it both a social activity to begin with, focus on reconnecting people, and make it financially viable for both players and venues.
Nice. And could you give us a brief description of, I guess, just what this game, what Tonk is?
Tonk is a 2 versus 2 tank shooter game. It is inspired a little bit by this game I played on the Wii growing up. It is part of the Wii. It's We Play Tanks.
A classic.
And it's beautiful. And one of the things that initially inspired me was saying, hey, can I make a 2D pixel tank game where the bullet bounces off a wall? The answer is yes. It's a pretty simple mechanic. And then you build on it. And then soon enough, I was making a custom controller. And here we are.
Yeah, it just evolved from there. And how many, you said you've worked with other people on this, about how many people have you worked with in creating this game?
So some people have come and go, but there have probably been 6 people involved with the creative process of the game.
What has your creative process been in making this game? I mean, you shared your inspiration from the We Play game, but I guess beyond that, what has it been?
It's my creative process. So a lot of it comes down to, I like to just program something, see if it works. I took a lot of inspiration from modifying games back when I was a teenager. I used to hack Pokemon games, and I would do things like custom music, custom art. One of my favorite things I did as a young boy was put a missionary into a Pokemon game and battle it. And so I got some of my pixel art stuff from there, and I was like, I can do pixel art, and I don't have to think too much about it. And the biggest thing is I just need to get something out there that works. I need to prove that this thing can exist, and then I can attract people who can help me make it better. And that's been proving to be true. And I am gradually finding those people that are helping me make this better.
You said you plan on having this at venues around Rexburg. Where are some of the places where people, I guess where it has been or where it's going to be, where people can find this game if they want to play it?
Yeah, so primarily the Tank Tonk has been at Fizz Riz here in Rexburg, the Dry Bar Arcade. They were the ones that I initially worked with. It is going to go in other venues. We can expect it. It'll be in Roots and Boots on April 1st. And of course, I've actually been trying to show it to students here on campus. So it'll actually be at the Video Game Expo in the STC this coming Wednesday as well. But I am continuing to find and reach out to venues. And you can find it on our website, bush.works. And I continue to update that so that people know that they can find us.
Yeah, and so even though it's a little Rexburg tour, it's kind of only just started. How has the reception been?
Reception has been generally positive. One of the early feedback that we got was our controls didn't work very well. They were very back and forth. They were not intuitive to people. They were broken. They were electronically broken. That's really what it comes down to. And so I got a guy to help me with redesigning the electronics for just the controls from the ground up. And it is smooth as butter. It's much more industrial. Otherwise, generally reception that I've got from surveys and analytics has been positive reception on the art. People really love the music. I have a dedicated guy just on the music, and we've considered doing a release at some point because that music, man, I'm a fan of my music in my games.
Yeah, that is important for sure. And so in making this, in the beginning, did you ever think that it would just kind of maybe be too big of a project because you built this from the ground up, you designed the game, you did the artwork, had somebody do the music, built the arcade cabinet? Did it kind of seem like a big undertaking at first?
Absolutely. It was doing a lot of stuff that I either didn't know how to do before or wasn't good at. I had to learn how to pick up CAD and 3D printing. At some point, I'm going to have to either find a guy or I'm going to have to pick up woodworking or find someone who's willing to. Because I've programmed for years. And so the programming isn't the hard part for me. And you can kind of just put whatever as music and art for placeholders. Funny enough, most of what's in the game still today was initially meant to be just placeholders. And turns out good enough is good enough.
Yeah, it's not broke, don't fix it.
No.
And what have some of your biggest challenges been in doing this project?
Funny enough, legal. So FizzRiz, who has been our greatest ally in trying to start this up and get it going, they have an exclusive contract with an arcade leaser that prevents us from competing with them at their venue. And so we kind of have to work around existing contracts. We have to work around a lot of taxes. Like I said, Idaho has a flat year fee for arcade machines that begins in the middle of the year. And so it's not financially viable for us to start charging until that date, assuming we can get something worked out contract-wise. And so it's surprisingly not the things that you would think.
Right. That's interesting. What future goals do you have for Tank Tonk?
I want to build more. So we have one. It's built out of, it's our prototype that we're showing around here in Rexburg. But the intention is to be able to get venues to either lease or get some build-to-order machines. I want to be able to custom make these machines for whoever and make it coupled with the venue. So rather than being like than selling to a third party leaser, either we lease the game or the venues directly buy the game from us. That level of support, like continued updates. We want to keep updating the games for these venues. We want to provide maintenance and all this kind of stuff. We want to, and eventually we'll expand it to more games. That's the whole idea.
Right. Yeah, that was going to be my next question was, do you hope to make more games once, I guess, you have everything worked out and you're at a place where you're happy and content with where Tonk is?
Yeah. So we want to make some more like indie style games. At the moment, we have some fun things planned for the future. Turns out what we have in there in regard to compute is a lot more capable than I initially realized. And so we could probably get some like mobile tier 3D going if we had the art talent. Problem is finding the talent, as it always is, I think.
Right. Yeah, and just last, is there anything that you'd want the Rexburg community, I guess, to just know about you and your game?
Yeah. Support your local businesses. If you're a local business here in Rexburg, we have an Instagram account. It's at Tonk Game, and we want to help all these third places exist, and we want to help people feel connected. So while we're running for free, I want to get connected with everyone. Let's help each other. If you're not a business, come play Tonk. Have fun. Put a smile on your face. That's 90% of the fun. I'm not in this for big money. I'm in this because it's fun.
Carson, thank you so much for coming on and sharing all this with us.
Thank you, Nathan.